Hey guys, this is Nate and this is the Nader Tater channel. Today I'm going to talk about my DJI Mavic Air 2 and the crashes that I've had with it, including showing you some videos of the crashes and why they happened. So this is my first drone that I've ever had. I've had it for several months now. I've logged about 100 flights on it and 13 hours of flight time, and according to the DJI app, about 141 kilometers of flight distance. So I'm certainly not a pro, but I do have enough to kind of speak to. And I've had probably about 10 crashes, I would say, or 10 hits, and probably half of those it ended up on the ground. Whereas some of the other ones it would recover mid-air, like it hit a tree limb and it'd knock it sideways, but it would still stay in the air. So of those about 10 instances that I've had, all but about 2 of them were actually it flying itself, either in like active track mode or doing one of the quick shots where it either does like a rocket ship or it does a helix maneuver. So the downside to this one and some of the other cheaper drones, and this one obviously isn't cheap, at least not to me, but it has vision and obstacle detection for the front, the rear, and straight down, but it has no detection for side to side, left to right, or above. So you can take this drone and you can fly sideways straight into a brick wall and it won't stop you. Same thing for flying vertical. So you could take it off inside and fly straight up into the ceiling and it would not stop you. Now they did add a new firmware update that has a safety mode, and that turns off the straight side to side flight capability, because I'm sure they saw that was the #1 crash scenario, is someone flying sideways into something. But the problem with it is the active track feature has 2 modes of active track. One is trace, where it tries to stay either in front or behind of you, and then the other one is parallel. And so in parallel mode, obviously it's going to try to fly alongside of you, and to do that it flies mostly sideways. And they tell you to fly high or to be in a wide open space. That's not always an option, nor does it give you the best the coolest footage if you're 150 feet high above all the trees. So I've certainly had this down below the top of the tree lines, and I paid for it by it crashing. But what's incredible about it is how tough it is. So of all these crashes, and like I said, it's fallen down to the ground in a good half of them, uncontrolled. All I've broken so far is one propeller where I cracked it. The rest of the time I pick it up and it takes back off again. So I'll show you some of the videos, but probably the hardest mid-air collision was I flew it, it was an active track and it was going parallel to my little Chevy Spark, and it's an area where they're doing some construction on my property, and they have these poles that they set up to prevent the heavy machinery from getting close to the power lines overhead. And this guy was just flying sideways at, I don't know, probably 15 miles per hour, not top speed by any means, but and he just ran right into the pole, hit it, went straight to the ground. And that one I think is the one that damaged the propeller. That's the only one where I've actually broken something. And then the other good hit was I was doing a helix maneuver at the in-laws place, and the helix is where it starts and it spirals. It goes in a wider diameter and then also goes higher and higher, and so it's mostly flying sideways when it's doing that. And I didn't have the settings just right for where I was at, so before it got higher than the tree lines it actually ran into a big tall oak tree, and it was it placed itself inside that oak tree about 60 feet high, and it was stuck there and I couldn't get it down. And it stayed there for about 4 days before it finally blew out of the tree with wind, and it went straight from 60 feet down to the ground and no damage. I picked it up, put a new battery in it, and took right off. So it really is pretty incredible how robust it is, and that's certainly something I've been happy with. Overall, I've been very happy with the drone. I've just learned a few lessons as far as how hard I can push it to do autopilot and follow me. So the front sensor and the rear sensor, they're normally pretty cautious and they won't let you push it too far. But this time of year when the leaves are off the trees, I have had a few times, and I'll show a video of one where it doesn't detect a small tree limb or like a twig that sticks out across the path, and it'll run into that. And it doesn't take much to take a propeller and stop it, and then as soon as you lose one propeller, it loses control and it crashes. So I'll show you some videos of that. Also, if you see other videos on my channel, a lot of them have drone footage on there, so feel free to check those out and subscribe if you like it.